with the opportunity for a Hollywood finish will take the 250.
Phoenix, there they go, down to the bottom, 4 or 5 wide. Let's see if they can all keep it together. But Jacob ARCA gets...
Remember last year when they ran the Weenie 500, they streamed it on YouTube, on their YouTube channel? Mm-hmm. They're bringing it to TV this year.
Good evening, everyone. This is John Miles with another Bottom Split Racing Series, and here we are heading to Nashville Superspeedway for round number 4 with 43 laps and the stage break coming at lap 18. Should be a good one for you all as we head to this, I guess, fake Superspeedway configured with a 1.5, almost a 1.5 mile track. As you can see there, 1.33 miles. Take that a little bit bigger for you all to look at. 1.333 miles in length, 43 laps for tonight's race. Track opened in 2001. Pretty moderate race here. Nothing too crazy with regular 66-degree day. Shouldn't see too much slipping and sliding as the track gets darker and darker as the clouds start to set. Something to keep an eye on is practice just wrapped up, so we will start our 2-lap qualification start. Some general track info for you all. This is actually the first time we have been to Nashville Superspeedway here in the Bottom Split Racing Series, but some other just regular mile-and-a-half speedway stats for you all that we've had so far with 10 races, with Lane Snow winning 3 of them, Garrett Jarnagin and Braden Lewis having 2 each, and then Chris Fuge, Jacob ARCA, and Scott Rolls each have 1 themselves. With pole positions with Braden Lewis having 3, Jarnagin 2, Lane Snow, G.P. Jones, Jacob ARCA, and Aiden O'Neill having 1 each. Let's take a look at that scoring box pylon as we drop that down. You can see Lane Snow currently leads the qualifying attempt with the 10 drivers out there making their attempt now. As you see some drivers start to fly on by. We'll have to see if the 45 car in that part-time start can continue to hold the pole position or if someone's going to come in and take it. Something to note that is very unique for the track for Nashville Superspeedway is although we normally stick on asphalt, Nashville Superspeedway is actually concrete. So expect these drivers' tires to be slipping a little bit more, burning those right sides up, maybe a little bit more than they thought, or being a little bit more squirrely, especially at the start of a run. So we'll have to see what these drivers have in store for us today, but it should be a pretty good one to see if they can get a handle on those race cars. We'll have to see what adjustments they make too after the stage break. I'll take a look at those driver standings as well. We'll go ahead and go full screen so you guys can take a look at those. Right now, Braden Lewis leads us with 113. Barker in second with 104. John Corey in third. Connor Fuge is tied with Garrett Jarnagin for fourth. And then Aiden O'Neill wraps out in the 6th place position. Pretty good battle right now between the number 01 and Jacob ARCA there as well. So we'll have to keep an eye on that throughout the race as you can see the rest of the field there. Mentioned a little bit earlier, but weather, very, very clear. Track temp, pretty cool. Air temp, pretty cool. Shouldn't see too much crazy action like we might on a day race here at Nashville Superspeedway. As I mentioned, this is the 4th race in the Bottom Split Racing Series, but we have 4 more after this one to round out the season, with Bristol Motor Speedway in a couple weeks, then heading to Pocono, wrapping up with Daytona for the second to last race, and then finally finishing the season off at Homestead Miami Speedway. Although last week was a little bit busier, we shouldn't have too many more weeks where you have 3 nights of racing in a row. Unfortunately for you fans that love racing, you have to wait a little bit, but we do have a race this Wednesday for the Wednesday Night Dash in Bourbon Country at Kentucky Speedway before we head a little bit later on to IndyCar next Tuesday, then heading back on Wednesday to head to Darlington for some kind of tough tracking, too tough to tame, often said. So we'll have to see how they do and how these drivers fare. With a minute left in qualifying, it looks like some people are still waiting to go out there and give it a shot. So while we have time, we'll go ahead and do a quick little shout out to Garage Talk, as they recently released a new episode. Garage Talk this week on FR Racing's Garage Talk. DJ and Eric recap IndyCar Markham, Joey Logano's turnaround, Yuki Tsunoda news, and Bill Mulfield's dramatic first iRacing win, all while a massive Arizona monsoon lights up DJ's window. Watch now on the Stadium Scene app, YouTube, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Should be a great one. Great episode, like I said. I'm sure you've heard me say it before. My favorite way is to watch is Spotify. You can watch the video format there or just listen to it on the drive. It's a great way to kill some time and get some sometimes interesting opinions that you might not hear anywhere else. As the qualifying session is starting to come to an end. Just wrapping up with 2 more seconds. It does appear Lane Snow is going to start on pole in the 45 machine. As things start to get sorted out, everything's starting to figure itself out. On our scoring pylon, we might have a different driver on pole. That might have been the practice stuff. Stuff starts to get figured out. There it goes. Now we're back accurate. Normally we're going to interview the guy in first. We're going to mix stuff up just a little bit and see if we can't talk to the guy that has the most work to do here tonight. But before we do that, we'll briefly, I guess, go through the starting position for everybody here. There you can see the starting grid for tonight's race. Your top 10, starting things off. I believe that's everybody. We have a perfect 10 drivers, so there you can see everything rolling around. We'll go ahead and see if we can't grab the 88. DJ Fluck, this is John Miles in the broadcast booth. You got me?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Well, you have a lot of room to go ahead of you, but there is not anybody better that's really improved on their craft whenever it comes to saving tires, and Nashville's kind of known to burn them a little bit faster in a different way than most traditional tracks just can do to that concrete. What's the plan tonight as we go green?
I can't do any worse. Like, botch the qualifying run. Let's hope we can hang in there. We'll see what we can do after the stage break, and hopefully have a good finish.
Well, good luck out there, and the crowd's going green, so have fun out there.
All right, thank you.
And as we go green, that was a quicker start than I thought we'd have for the entire field as we're already rolling back. 45 continues to lead. Let's see if we can get a little bit wider of a camera angle. There we go, perfect. As there's already a wreck there with the 2 car, it looks like going around early. That being Jacob Barker. Doesn't look like there's any damage, but we'll have to keep an eye on that to see. It looks like it was him and the 4 machine. And there's a bigger wreck behind him, it looks like, with maybe the 14 car of Robert Lewis. Just turn 1 mayhem, contact, spin, 21 hits the 14. A lot of cars go around. At this point, the 2 gets caught up in something, just loose. Not a lot of room. 4 locks him up. Doesn't make contact with the wall, but unfortunately, it's going to end the night for... Not end the night, as it's important to note we still do have that halfway caution for the stage break, so definitely not out of it yet as the 14 continues to apply pressure on the 45 as the 45 gets loose. About loses, the 91 gets loose behind him. Like I mentioned, this track is notorious for that concrete not having nearly as much grip as you think it's going to. Those slides are going to heat those right side tires up and just be detrimental for a long run pace. As the 1 car continues to push on, a little bit farther back, our closest battle now is between the 91, the 19, and looks like DJ Fluck there in the 88. Hopefully we didn't announce or jinx him there as he currently runs in the 5th place position. We'll have to see what these cars have, especially what adjustments they can make coming out of the stage break, as we still are on about to start lap 5 as John Corey takes past the start-finish line. We are now on lap 5. Still a lot of racing left. Don't forget that stage break is coming at lap 18 with 43 total laps in this race. A little bit farther back, the guys that got caught up in that stuff, JP Jones being one of them. Doesn't appear to have too much damage on that Ford Mustang, nor do the rest of these cars, but you can see on your scoring pylon, both the 4 and the 9 is trying to get around the 14, the 01 right now. It says 14 on the car, but it's showing 01. Both of these cars fighting for that 9th place position lap after lap. Teammates as well, so we'll have to see how hard they race each other, but right now they are, like I said, 14 seconds off the pace. They shouldn't go a lap down as the lead for the battle for the lead tightens up, but we'll keep a closer eye on it as the time goes by. A little bit farther up, we have Connor Fuge. Still trying to chase down the 91. Well, we have some green flag racing here. Let's see if we can't have a little turn it up segment presented by Stadium Scene TV. As these cars continue to fight here for the lead lap position. I'm sorry I had that graphic blocking your leaders so you guys couldn't even see the thing going on. We'll get that out of the way so you can see everything that is going on with the race as the 45 and the 14 continue to battle. How hard do you push it? probably can afford to be a little bit more aggressive than you normally would, as we do have that guaranteed yellow where drivers will come in and get some tires. Important note that stage caution does award bonus points, and for full-time drivers like the 14, that bonus point could end up paying dividends down the line, whereas a 45 machine really just wants to be coming down pit road first and guarantee the first place starting position. You can see that slide there out of the 45. Doesn't quite have the grip on exit of the corner. As he pokes his nose out, he's getting a little bit of clean air across that Chevrolet to help the car rotate. As a dive to the inside. Takes that preferred driving line away on the inside, but only if you can get cleared on exit. 45 does a great job of pinching him down. Gonna have to drive off on the corner. You can see they're still side by side going into the corner. 45 back to the lead, but gets loose there, has to correct the car. It's going to allow the 14 of John Corey to stay side by side with him. Now the 45's not in the preferred groove. How hard does it send it into the corner? Pretty aggressive there. See that right rear sliding, but car sticks. 45 now your new leader. As we mentioned in the race stats earlier, Lane Snow in that 45 does lead the field with the most speedway wins, with 3. 2 of them coming at Kansas and 1 at Charlotte. Nashville, although similar in design to a Kansas, that concrete banking makes it drive very differently, as it continues to have that higher exit. We'll have to see what else is going on throughout the field. The 91 and the 19 are continuing to fight as the 19 sends it in pretty deep. Not quite able to clear. They will be getting the caution flag next time by for that stage caution. So 19's in the wall just a little bit there. Important note for those live driver championship standings, I can see right there, we drop below the pylon. This is active and live as each driver makes a pass on track. This will update. So the 19 right now of Connor Fuge. The more points you can get closer to Jacob Barker, the better. But you can see Jacob Barker, who was sitting in second now, all the way down, dropped a position to third, with John Corey being in second and him falling all the way back to 10th place. And as it thinks the most exciting thing right now is the pace car. Go back to the leader, as this time by he will be taking the green checkered flag, which will end the stage. There it is, caution's out. Beautiful night racing here at Nashville. Track staying cool, staying slick, doesn't quite have the grip that these guys are kind of used to having. What adjustments can they make for the second stage of racing? As we'll keep it on pit lane exit here, as drivers start to get rearranged and get stuff figured out on where they will line up whenever they come down pit road. We'll see how many. You'd have to imagine everyone is going to come down and pit. Nobody went a lap down, so expect all 10 drivers to be back in this fight whenever we get back on grid. While we have a moment too, it's important to note we have a brand new Stadium Scene TV app available on Google Play and the App Store. It's now on the go, Stadium Scene, so download the brand new Stadium Scene app today on the Apple App Store or Google Play. It allows you to follow your favorite shows, catch these live broadcasts like the ones you're watching right now, and stay connected to Bottom Split and our other racing series wherever you are. Search Stadium Scene or use the links in the broadcast description to download it today. Very cool app, easy to use the software. You can watch these races live. You can interact with the chat feeds. You can see live driver standings in all 3 of our leagues. Check schedules. Whole lot of fun as drivers come down pit road. You can see right there. We'll get that minimized. Have to imagine with a clean pit stop, it is true the 45 will roll off first. The 14 of John Corey right on his tail. That is going to allow, like I said, with this reset, a lot of drivers to come back up through the field. With Jacob Barker, you'd have to imagine taking 2 tires there. Can't confirm that for sure, but we'll see if we can get that fact checked. I'm going to find it a little bit better of a camera angle than. Let's see. Right sides go up. Jack drops. And he's away. Yep, did take 2 tires on that one. We'll see if we can grab him for a talk. Jacob Barker, this is John Miles, the broadcast booth. You got me?
Yep, I got you.
A little bit different of a strategy out of you, unless iRacing was lying to me. You took 2 tires right there. I believe most of the field took 4. Tell me what's going to be the game plan for the rest of this race and try to come out here with maybe even a top 5 finish after the rough start.
I got nothing to lose. Track position's key here. It's just, I don't know, different strategy. It feels like I'm the only one who tends to do different stuff around these parts, so got to try something to gain some points and minimize others' points gain on Braden and I, so we'll see what happens.
Love the confidence out of you. I'm going to send you back to the SMR guys and the BRR guys. Good luck out there.
All right, appreciate it, buddy.
And that was your leader, or not leader, sorry, Jacob Barker, who did opt for the 2-tire stop. We'll have to see what they have in store for us. How much do tires matter as we get this thing back rolling? As the green flag is back out, the 45 with a resounding lead. It doesn't look like any of our broadcast stuff is up and rolling. Have to believe me when I said the 45 is still leading this thing. We'll try to get stuff to come back rolling through. Still nothing on the broadcast side of things. I apologize. We were dealing with some technical difficulties behind the scenes. I'm going to switch your camera angle to the most exciting stuff going on around the track as I try to figure out what the heck's going on here. Taking to the 1914, continuing to fight. Right now, Lane Snow continues to lead as those cars are battling the 01 or 14, depends on who you ask, and then 19. Those 3 cars are battling for the 4th place position. As John Corey continues to just beat on the back bumper of the 45. podium was working there for a bit, but nothing else is. Just trying to see what we can get rolling for you all. Starting grid works. New software, if you guys haven't figured that out by now, we're just trying some stuff out. As you see, 14 continues to fight with the rest of this pack, but Aiden O'Neill in the 91 is actually reeled in the 14 of John Corey. Still nothing quite working for you all, and I apologize for that as we continue to I'll try to do as much play-by-play as I can for you all. As you can see, the 14 and 19 continue to battle. I don't believe the software is going to go back up and running for me to work tonight, so we're going to fly by the seat of our pants. So 14 and 19 you can still see side by side. Another tough battle right now is between the 14 and the 91 as they continue to fight and try to keep the 45 honest. You can see that pass back there 3 wide as we cut back to it. Trying to look 4 there. Scott Rolls tries to make a move. As these cars continue to fight it out. To see what they have up their sleeve as the 19 powers by. Remember the 14 of Braden Lewis and Jacob Barker a little bit behind the ball after both being involved. Really all 5 of these cars were involved in an incident at the start of that run. As the 21 gets a little sideways, the 2 has to come out of the gas and not turn them. TJ Fleck a little off pace right now, but not too far behind this pack. Just keep it at a bird's eye distance in case there's some trouble. Back towards the front lane, Snow's checked out by about 5/10 of a lead, but you can see that battle for second is heating up between the 91 and the 14. See if we get some sort of ticker going for you guys. We can get that one back on. Yep, that's the classic one. We can get back rolling. It's about as fancy as we're going to get for the rest of this broadcast, I fear. As that's a legacy piece that I can pull back up on the fly, but everything else just going to call it as we see it as the 14 and 91 continue to battle. Now if you're the 45, you'll love to see this as he's now checked out to about a second. Back a little bit farther, these cars are starting to get it figured out. As Aiden O'Neill and John Corey are still going at it. A little bit of wall contact there, causes the 14 to check up. But all these cars have started to get single file here. As Jacob Barker is falling a little bit off pace here. Those 2 tires might just be giving up on him here as I don't see any imminent damage on that race car. Just wasn't quite enough. As DJ Fluck comes to pit road. Did we miss an incident? We might have. See if we can get a look and see what happened. As that front nose is bent in quite a bit. Let's see if we can find this before the end of the race. There's the 2 machine. You have to wonder if this is why the 2's off pace. So there was a wreck, it does appear, with all of these cars. I'm glad we got it now, as we have some air time. As the 88 just can't get checked up in time. Looks like the 4 car of Scott Rolls involved in this incident. Looks like a bad push from 21. Just, yeah, comes up. 2 car does actually get damaged. As he taps the wall there. A lot harder to tap than I originally thought. Unfortunately, it's going to do a number on the cars tonight. As there's about 3 laps to go. John Corey and Aiden O'Neill still trying to fight out for this 2nd place position. Robert Lewis with a great recovery right now to fight back to a 4th place position. Unfortunate for DJ Flood, who's just caught up in that wreck with nowhere to go. As our scoring pylon has decided to show back up, welcome back. Glad to have it. Get the old ticker squared away now. Not complaining. So we have 2 laps to go for our race leader. As the rest of these cars try to get figured out for these last couple of positions. I believe this will be your battle, though. Outside of the battle for the lead. We have 2 laps to go this time by for our race leader. He's going to be taking the white flag this time as he decides to smoke the wall. Final lap. Driver now on the backstretch. Looks like these cars are going to have it kind of sorted out. As we watch the 45 bring it home at Nashville, stretch his speedway wins to 4. Lane Snow, your winner at Nashville. Aiden O'Neill coming home in the 2nd place position. John Corey coming home 3rd. Braden Lewis 4th. Connor Hughes wrapping out your top 5 there. It looks like the 45's just doing some victory laps. As he's trying to do a backwards burnout, maybe. Not quite sure what the game plan there is. The tires aren't spinning, but it's the thought that counts for the 45 machine. as we get those final results shown up for you all to look at. There you can see Lane Stone, the 45, coming home P1, Aiden O'Neill P2, John Corey P3, Braden Lewis P4, Connor Fuge P5, JP Jones P6, P7, John Jarvis P8, Jacob Barker P9, DJ Fluck, and P10, Scott Rolls. As we now show the podium, we'll see who we can grab for the interview, unless the drivers have already joined me. And they have. And Braden, my stuff's showing that you're in P4, but if you're in P3, I'm going to believe you.
I am pretty sure I got John at the line.
You very well
I think in
could have.
iRacing, before I left the session, I believe it said P3.
Okay, it could be my software that's messed up too, but I'll take your word for it. If it's reading you as P3, so congrats on the P3. Way to battle him at the line. Unfortunately, the broadcast missed it because we were dealing with a little bit of technical difficulties alongside just making sure we caught the leader taking the checkered flag. But great race out of you nonetheless. Talk to us a little bit about the bounce back. We know that your teammate, you kind of got in a little bit of a scuffle there in the first stage. But I'm not sure. I know he took 2 tires. Maybe you did as well to get back towards the front of the pack. But talk to us a little bit about navigating. At some points, you were even in that second stage 3 wide. Talk about finding that line and getting past teammates cleanly and still coming home with a good finish.
Well, it all started with the failed qualifying attempt. I don't know if you saw that fumble, but that was pretty good. No, it was what I hated. I feel like I probably still could have won from where I was if I wouldn't have got, turn 1, lap 1. But it wasn't too bad. I know I didn't take 2 tires. I took 4. That's what I told Jacob after he did that. I was like, I hate that's all you got, because I respect the strategy. But he don't think he only gained like 1 or 2 positions on me, and it still wasn't enough to keep me behind him. The battle with Connor and Jacob was fun. I kind of thought we might wreck each other there a couple times, but I'm glad we didn't. It was intense, but I'm glad it worked out, and we all at least got to finish the race.
1,000%. Talk to us a little bit too, coming in next week, or not next week, but in a couple weeks, heading to Bristol Motor Speedway. Although the track configuration is very different than Nashville, they do have something in common, which is concrete. Is there anything you can translate from tonight's race and hope to apply it at that short track?
I don't know about from tonight's race. Now, in general, I love Bristol, so I hope I can do pretty good there. But, Bristol's also kind of a coin flip, one so small and tight. And even though, if you're in the lead, you catch traffic so fast, and if one of them happens to lose it or you try to give them a little bump out of the way, sometimes that can bite you. So it'll be interesting for sure.
Should be interesting, especially because it was very interesting whenever we went there last week with the Wednesday Night Dash. But hopefully we can put on a better show and show them people how to actually run it. But I appreciate taking the time to. I hope so too. From my standpoint, that was kind of rough last week, but all in all, great show tonight out of you. Is there anyone you'd like to thank before we kick it to P2?
Yeah, you for doing the broadcasts, FR, and all the boys over at SMR.
And with that, we're going to kick it over to the number 91 machine of Aiden O'Neill, finishing a solid second place position. Had some ups, had some downs throughout the race. Kind of always in that second to fourth place battle. Even challenged the leader a little bit, just keeping him honest. But tell me, what was the car feeling tonight? Was it kind of what you expected when you're coming to an intermediate track, or did the concrete make you have to rethink a little bit?
It was roughly what I expected. I love driving on the concrete here. It's very abrasive. A little bit of a tire management game for the longer runs, which I feel like is my strong suit. So it was fun to actually get to run there up front. First half of the race, I was kind of spending it seeing how tire degradation went, how the leaders were running, and felt like I was matching pace there at the end of the first. But translated that into good speed at the beginning of the second half, and I had a ton of fun battling John there for the second half. Unfortunately, Lane is way faster than I had any for at the end there, but it was impressive to watch him run away with that while John and I were side by side. But all in all, it's a lot of fun. Glad I was up ahead of that first incident on lap 1, turn 1. Still haven't seen what happened.
As we have the driver standings pulled up, you had a resounding solid points day nonetheless, coming home in P2. This has moved you up to the 4th place position in drivers' points, sitting at 127 points, less than 20 points behind Braden Lewis, sitting in 1st place. halfway through the season, still a lot of racing left to go. How confident are you feeling after a good finish like tonight?
I'm feeling pretty good about that. I know that road course race really threw me back, but 20 points isn't easy to overcome. But I'm going to do my best on the remaining tracks and see what we can.
Are there any tracks you talk about with the road course out of the way? I'm sure it's not a lot of people's favorites by any stretch of the imagination, but now that it's out of the way, looking at the rest of the tracks being Bristol, Pocono, Daytona, and Homestead, is there a track that's really speaking your language that maybe you can get some extra points by taking this thing all the way to the checkered?
Well, I mean, Daytona's a toss-up with it being a drafting track, but the rest of the schedule I'm excited for. A lot of those tracks, actually all four, I'm very comfortable with, confident at. So I'm excited to see if we convert that too.
And we're excited to see how you do for the rest of the season. I appreciate taking the time to talk to me. Is there anyone you'd like to thank before we kick this thing off?
Yeah, I'd like to say thank you to Gabby for helping me find this wicked fast race car, and to Preston Brown for cheering me on wherever he's right now.
And with that, we will end tonight's broadcast. We appreciate everyone coming by and taking the time to spend your Monday night with us. This has been John Miles here at Nashville Superspeedway for the 4th race in the Bottom Split Racing Series, marking the halfway point. Stay tuned for the upcoming broadcast on Wednesday for the Wednesday Night Dash. But otherwise, we will see you next time. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.